Welcome back to Steve Reads a Comic. What's up, fellas?
What it is.
It is June 20th, 2023. This is a spoilerific podcast. We're going to spoil anything and everything that we might touch on. Specifically today, we will be discussing the recent Dungeons and Dragons movie. We'll be discussing the Flash movie. So there's
Batman Forever.
Batman Forever.
You mean Batman?
No, I watched it. Batman Forever.
Oh,
you did watch Batman Forever? Holy shit!
Yeah,
that's the one with Schwarzenegger.
No,
which one's Batman? That's the one with Val Kilmer.
Yeah, they run together. It's hard to. I have to think about it because they're so bad.
That's Two-Face and the Riddler.
Yeah, there's not much to talk about. I'll just say don't watch it. That's it.
Is that the one where they televised the circus?
Yeah, you were right. And Chris O'Donnell was in that motherfucker for like 3/4 of the movie.
Yeah.
Dude, I had no idea he was in it that long and completely whiny the whole time. It was horrible.
Yeah. Who was the love interest in that?
Chase
Meridian.
Nicole
Kidman.
Who played? Oh, Nicole Kidman. Oh yeah. Totally forgot who was in that.
It was. They zoomed in on his buttocks for one shot. Is that because Joel Schumacher is gay?
Probably.
Yes.
Okay.
And then they did a lot more of that in the. I'm sure they just thought it was funny.
I thought half those scenes were in Batman and Robin.
Yeah, they're interchangeable. That's why when people defend it, I'm always like, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. It is just as bad as Batman and Robin, or almost as bad. Maybe just a half a point better. You know what I mean?
They opened it up and it was like campy. It was like the old 60s show. Like they were doing like boing boing sound effects and stuff. I'm like, what is happening?
Yes. Oh. That's what it is. And from right from the rip, they tell you what kind of terrible movie it's going to be. Like they don't even hide it.
So I watched a documentary on the making of Batman '89. It's pretty good.
Which one?
It was on YouTube. I don't know. It was just I was like, oh, we just watched this. Let me YouTube something because there's nothing to watch on TV that I'm watching. So I was like, I ended up watching like an hour and plus like documentary on it. It was pretty good.
Yeah, what'd you learn?
It's probably the Shadow of the Bat documentary that they put as extras on the Blu-rays of the movies.
That could be.
I've watched those a couple times.
But the company that bought the rights, it started with the guy that was the professor that they sold. He got with somebody that bought the movie rights for Batman, and then a production company finally bought that rights from them, but it still took like 10 years after that. I mean, it took like 20 years. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
And even though he did Beetlejuice was a hit and all that was a hit, they still were, very nervous with having
I feel like I've covered all this. Yeah. Have I not? I feel like
but it was neat to hear from them, like the producer.
Oh, okay.
And then they had what's his face, Tim Burton did a lot of interview, and he was definitely younger. I mean, when he did the interview, so it was interesting.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's it. That's all I got.
It was 34 years ago.
I can check out this podcast now.
All right, so I think we gotta start with the Flash. It's fresh in my mind. I just saw it today. I took both kids to go see it. Logan was he said the trailer was so terrible that he thought it was going to be the worst movie he ever saw. But Steve is the big Flash fan, so we'll start with Steve if you want to summarize or just get into your thoughts. Tell us.
I don't like really caring about a property and then watching that property completely fail. Like I don't like that at all. I hated this. I didn't hate this movie, but I was very disappointed. It was a big yawner. I hate this portrayal of the Flash. I cannot stand the person playing him and the way he was written. He's spazzy. He's not confident. One of the scenes I think is towards the middle. It was supposed to be very tense and dramatic, where he basically runs into his other, like, he meets his other self, and his other self is very immature, and he's running around the Batcave and stuff. And that scene, he like tells him to focus or whatever. He's like, "You got it easy. You still have your mother." Everything that was supposed to be a very dramatic scene, and I was just laughing, dude. Like, it was horror. It was not. It didn't hit the way it was supposed to. I can't get behind this Flash. Iris and him, I couldn't care less. They're supposed to be, they have a big part of the Flash. Him and Iris. Don't care. Don't fucking care. And the action, dude, how sweet was some Batman scenes? They were great, But I mean, overall, I wanted a Flash movie, Just make a fucking Batman movie with Michael Keaton,
Right? I'm not. Yeah, that'll do well.
mean, I had some things I like.
You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
I had some pros and I had some cons. Like I did enjoy the way they did the CGI, the way they showed the Speed Force.
Yeah.
I thought that was some interesting camera angles and everything. And I did not like the multiverse part. Like, it looked like a kaleidoscope or something like that.
Yeah.
I didn't really like that much. But as far as like him running, except the very beginning when he gets in the pose to run, oh my God, just shoot me in the fucking face, man.
Well, I did figure something out about the way he runs and why he runs the way he runs.
I read that.
I haven't read anything. I
read about it.
My assumption is he's emulating speed skaters, is what he looks like.
Oh, that's even better. That makes even more sense than what
he looks like a speed. Have you ever seen a speed skater?
Yeah.
The way they hunch and they move their arms like that.
Yeah.
I think he's emulating a speed skater. That's the only thing I could think of.
That makes more sense. I would believe that.
No, it doesn't, because he's not wearing fucking ice skates. Okay?
I read that in the original that they wanted him to, like, he was swimming through, like it's like swimming or something. That's
okay.
But I don't know
if it's true.
That
to me, it looks literally like
that
speed
makes
skating.
Really good sense. And wow,
It's the first time I saw it though today. I was like, "That's how." Because these movements
I never thought
look familiar, and I'm not super familiar with speed skating, but I saw it years ago during one of the
Olympics.
I watched
Ono when he was big.
Now, speed skaters, they have like one hand behind their back. Like,
they do have that. True. That is true. But the
arm and the finger pointing,
arm
like,
is just moving the whole time.
What are you guys? You trying to get pros? You reaching for pros for this movie? What are you doing?
Rob, what did you think?
It was all right. I mean, it was. I get what they were doing, and it was a little bit emotional, but it didn't make, like, I like the spaghetti, and it took me a while. Like, after I saw it, I was like, that ending don't make no sense, having a new Batman. But then I was like, oh, okay, even, when you go back to the spaghetti thing and you think about it, he totally changed his present. It got intertwined once he put the cans up top, So it made a little more sense, but I was just like, come on.
I think I was falling asleep at that point.
But, yeah, I mean, the Batman was freaking sweet. I'd just do a Batman Michael Keaton movie. I'm with Steve.
Right, dude,
I would love everybody.
Batman fucking great.
So I've been watching Justice League at night, falling asleep, the original cartoon, and Flash is like, he's like one of the main characters in that. And I don't know if you remember, because I watched him so long ago, I forgot. But man, he is cocky. He is like, he's always hitting on women. He's got that attitude, like, you know what I'm saying? And the way it's not the Flash that I know. Like, even the TV show, I've seen that. And that's like, even that is too far, like, the other way, but he's a little cocky, but not like he is in the TV show, the cartoon show. He's great in the TV show. I mean, he's a great character.
I wanted to be much happier.
And he's always effing up because he's so cocky. He's always effing up, but then he makes it right because he's so fast. But anyway, Go ahead, Steve. I'm sorry.
I liked it when it showed signs. When him and Bruce were in the Batcave. And I'm like, oh my God, why couldn't this be a better Flash? Because one of the things I love from the comics is him and Bruce are really good friends. And they're both really smart and they help each other work on cases and stuff like that. But I just like this guy. He's not the portrayal of the Flash that I've read in comics, and I don't like it at all. You know,
Well, you have Zack Snyder to thank for that. He cast because
I know. I mean, I know Ezra Miller's just playing the part. You know,
yeah.
but it's I'm sorry, it's written wrong, and I don't like him at all. And he's annoying. His character is annoying.
I like how they made fun of him running in that one scene when he lost his powers, and and I like how the younger version of him runs like he runs. You know what I mean? He's not like doing the whole whatever thing.
Yeah.
But
because he doesn't know what he's doing yet.
I did enjoy the ending. You know, I thought it was going to be Reverse Flash at first, but it was just like
Reverse Flash.
No, it was dark. That was like Dark Barrier, Dark Flash.
Well, he literally said to him, "Reverse it," and I was like, "Oh, they're turning him into Reverse Flash, basically."
No, because I thought that at first too, but Rob was like, Reverse Flash killed Nora Allen. She killed Barry's mom.
I think originally
that's a different continuity, though. That's not this movie.
Yeah, I think originally they were gonna put the Reverse Flash in it, but they already had way too many fucking characters, so they decided not to bring in another big character.
I just assumed.
No, that's what they said.
Well, they had other versions. Like one of the comics we read, the Flash comic that I had you guys read, that was a Dark Flash. That he just kept going through the Speed Force for so long. And everything.
I thought when he said reverse it, I was like, oh, okay, it's Reverse Flash.
They might want you to think that. But like,
so according to this article popping up, it says the Flash's true villain is a different kind of Reverse Flash. So, yeah, that's just according to comic book resources anyway. But I guess that's why I assume that's why he said there's no reason for him to say reverse it. I thought that was the clue that it was Reverse Flash.
Maybe in the spaghetti incident, there's that, but the Reverse Flash killed Nora. So I mean,
who's Nora?
That's Barry's mom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I mean, there's.
I mean, in a way, he killed her.
There's all.
The way he killed her a whole bunch of times.
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying is he didn't put the knife in her chest. Is what I'm saying. But there's Zoom, there's Dark Flash, there's all kinds of different variants.
Speedsters.
So my thing with this movie, I fucking loved it. Like I thought it was fantastic.
Wow.
Really?
I fucking loved it. I thought it was so much better than Spider-Verse. It was everything Spider-Verse was trying to be.
You're on crack,
no, dude. It made me tear up multiple times. I was
invested
emotional in the characters.
It was emotional.
That scene with his mom at the grocery store at the end, I was really choking it back.
Where she realized it was him.
Yeah, I mean, I saw that scene.
But just the fact that what was going through his head, that basically he was engineering his mom's death, basically by what he was doing, and I mean, I was annoyed with young Flash. Like, I really don't understand why anybody puts an annoying person or an annoying character in a movie as a main character. I'll never understand that. And he did grow up a little bit by the end. But yeah, I thought the opening scene was fucking hilarious. I was dying laughing at all the babies falling out of the fucking hospital and he's saving them. And then the dog. And
oh my God. I thought it was fucking ridiculous.
I thought it was hilarious. I was like, this is.
I was like, are they trying to make a Quicksilver scene? Like, it's not as good.
It was way funnier. I'll say that. God damn, baby. You put a baby in a microwave. Like, that had me fucking dying, dude. They had me from the. If you can make me laugh, then you got me. Like, so a lot of the humor worked. Some of it didn't, but a lot of it did work for me.
Did you like? I'm sorry.
Did you gray bat suit on Batman? Except for the cowl was a little too wrinkly and weird looking, but overall it was a pretty cool suit.
Did you like the roommates? I thought they were annoying too.
It was fine. It wasn't. I was indifferent. They weren't really that. I mean, they were trying to be funny. It was. I mean, it wasn't anything. I don't know. It wasn't necessary. That humor didn't really work for me. It wasn't really funny or anything. So there were the jokes that fell flat. But I actually cared about the Flash, the older Flash. I loved Supergirl. I thought she was awesome. The Michael Keaton Batman, the fight scenes and the Batman stuff was great because it was, I think in my mind, that's the kind of shit Batman was doing back in '89. Like when I watched that movie as a kid, that's all that crazy action. That's what I thought he was doing. Flipping around, fighting, moving real fast, stopping bullets.
How
And
awesome was
obviously,
his fight scene? It was good. I
oh
do
yeah, it was
remember that.
great.
I was like,
He
that's
was
pretty
fucking
good.
Batman. He was just
Yeah.
right back in it as Batman.
All the Batman stuff was fabulous.
And he said he's like, this is gonna hurt because he knew
Yeah.
he was like, Michael Keaton was awesome.
But even the whole story, so just the setup for those of you who don't know, basically, I mean, it ties into the Flashpoint comic, but that's neither here nor there. You don't need to know anything about that. But basically, Barry Allen discovers in a moment of sadness and depression, he takes off on a run. He realizes he could run so fast, he can actually travel through time. And he tells Ben Affleck, Batman, about this. Ben Affleck tells him, "Hey man, don't do it." But he can't help it. He wants to. His dad is in jail, wrongfully imprisoned for murdering his mother. He did not murder the Flash's mother, and his mom is dead. So he goes back. He realizes he can make one tiny change that will make it so his mom isn't stabbed and his dad isn't in jail. And all he has to do is go to this grocery store, put a can of crushed tomatoes in her shopping cart, thinking that once he does this, it'll set things right. But everything goes awry. He gets punched by Dark Flash or Reverse Flash, whoever it is, and like out of the time orb, whatever it's called, the Chrono Orb, whatever they called it, and ends up back in the same time as like his 18-year-old self, and then it becomes like a whole Back to the Future type thing, which is referenced a few times. Eric Stoltz's best role. I don't know if you know, but Eric Stoltz was cast as Marty McFly.
I only knew that because of this podcast. You guys told me. I was like, oh, that's cool.
Okay. And he filmed a lot of scenes too. Like they did like weeks of filming that they had to reshoot with Michael J. Fox. And so basically he's just trying to set everything right. And then Zod shows up and they're like, well, I got to find Batman. I can find the Justice League. And this is a whole different universe. So he can't find anyone. But he does find Bruce Wayne, but it's not his Bruce Wayne. It's Michael Keaton. And then he figures out where the alien from Kryptonite is. And it turns out not to be Kal-El. It turns out to be, what's her name?
Kara. Zor-El.
Kara, yeah. So they go to Russia. She's been imprisoned by these Russians and just like tortured and studied and stuff. They save her. There's an amazing fight scenes during that.
I like it when she got out into the sun. I like that.
Yeah, and she just starts kicking ass.
Mm-hmm.
And Batman has great fight scenes. And meanwhile, the modern day Barry has lost his powers when he tried to take his younger self to get powers. He ended up losing his powers, so he's trying to train his younger self to use these powers while he himself doesn't have them anymore. And his younger self, because he's never experienced any tragedy or trauma, he's just a total goofball. Annoyingly so. This annoying ass laugh. Jesus Christ, that laugh. And he's just a slacker. Just a completely different person. And basically they're trying to stop Zod, assemble the Justice League, and then it turns out in their fight against Zod, it's just inevitable that they can't stop him. They don't have enough Justice League members. They don't have a powerful enough Superman, whatever. They cannot stop him.
Kara hasn't been on Earth long enough to be as powerful. So
yeah, she hasn't.
And Zod obviously is a trained killer. And,
right, he's a soldier.
And I mean, he matched Superman.
Right.
So.
I didn't. I didn't like.
Okay.
I didn't like Batman dying. I didn't like any of this shit, man.
I thought so. The difference between Batman, so I thought that was great because I didn't want Batman to die either, but they had that emotional impact with the audience to realize, oh, this sucks. Like this, he has to make a heavy decision. The Batman we love, the Supergirl we just met, aren't meant to survive. And that it's pretty heavy in that regard. Batman fights, but he's fighting Kryptonians. Really answers the question, what happens when Batman meets Superman when he doesn't have kryptonite. So that's what happens. But he did put up a good fight nonetheless. And
that fight at the end was nice. You know, when he
that was
has
epic.
that bomb on his head.
Yeah.
I still don't want to see Batman die. I don't give a fuck.
I like that. That's what I'm saying. So everybody thinks that I got upset when Han Solo died in Force Awakens because I like Han Solo, and I said no, I don't like it because it doesn't it doesn't move a character forward, it doesn't move a story forward. It's literally just to shock the audience, and also so they can be like, oh well, Harrison Ford doesn't want to do any more Star Wars movies, even though he shows up 2 movies later, making the point I always made, which is like, give him enough money, he'll show up.
He just did another Indiana Jones movie.
Yeah, well, he's always liked doing Indiana Jones. He's always made it clear he didn't like doing Han Solo, though. But my point is, though, it's not about the character dying. It's about the purpose it serves in the story. So by killing off the beloved Batman, I just think it made it to me, it resonated more. It made it resonate with the audience more because that, you know, the people, you know, our age group obviously don't want to see that happen.
I'm sure it would have resonated more if they didn't shit on my favorite character. So
I don't think they did. Yeah. I thought the Flash had some great moments.
No, he sucks.
I really liked the way he used the Speed Force. And
he can't get over Ezra Miller.
It's not that. I went in with an open mind. He sucks. The way he's written sucks. I don't like him at all. It's horrible. It's a shitty ass spazzy fucking Flash, dude. I don't want that. I want what Rob said. I want confident. I want cocky. I want funny.
I agree with you.
He's not fucking funny, dude.
I thought the directors did a good job, though. I'll tell you what what the best part and the most seamless part of all that was. Dude was playing 2 characters, and you never, you honest to God thought they were 2 different people interacting that whole time. Never once did I think, I mean, I forgot it was Ezra Miller playing the younger Ezra Miller. Seriously.
You're right about that.
That's how good of a job they did.
Yeah,
you know what's funny though?
What the fuck are you guys watching? This
some
ain't
of the
There
other
Will Be
CG.
Blood. What the fuck are you talking about?
Well, the opening scene CG was not very
dude, most of the CG was pretty bad. There was a lot of bobblehead Flash going on, like his head looked a lot bigger than his body sometimes.
The CGI was horrible.
It was mostly not good. But I was able to overlook it because I had a great time. It was a fun movie. I genuinely 7.5, 8 out of 10, somewhere around there.
Oh my God, dude.
I fucking loved it. I did. Mason liked it. Mason doesn't like anything. Mason likes 2 things in life. It's like he likes chicken tenders and this one video game. That's it. Those are the 2. And he came out. He was like, it was a fun movie. He's like, and he went in.
It was fun.
He was not stoked to go at all. He kept saying, "What time are we going to your trash movie?" Like that was his. that was him before the movie.
And there's some good parts, man. There's some things I like, especially I love in the comics, dude. I love that electrocution where he has to get his powers back through the electricity. Yeah. That was awesome. I think they hit him 2 times in the comics, but it was cool this time that they had Kara,
Supergirl.
Yeah, take him up, and that was cool. But I mean,
and plus his sacrifice is what brought her back. She realized, she's like, why did he save me? He didn't.
Right. And I thought that was an emotional scene. Even just that simple question, why did you save me?
I liked her as Supergirl
because he said to her, you needed help, and I thought that was just pretty, they kept it simple. There was no speech or anything. And that was enough to sway her to be like, okay, I'll help you guys.
As I said to Sean a couple days ago, I wish the fucking humor was universal because there's nothing in this movie that I fucking
I laughed at there's a bunch of stuff that made me cringe, but there was a bunch of stuff that actually made me laugh out loud, including the opening scene, which
scene did
hysterical.
Make me laugh. Well, especially when the lady just started screaming. Because that's what would happen. I mean, I would do that I would react the exact same way. I'd be like, ah!
What was your favorite part, Sean, when he said, "Come on, Barbie, let's go party"? Was that your favorite part?
I said, there was definitely some cringy stuff. That was an eye-rolling line for sure.
Just fucking killed me. They destroyed my character.
I don't think they did at all.
I'm glad they fucking laid this shit to rest. Let's move on. Hopefully I get a fucking new Flash now.
I thought they did a good job with what they had to work with from what Zack Snyder did. That's what I think.
Yeah. He's the one who
I
gave you
mean-
that shitty character. Never
Yeah,
forget.
I know.
Like 9/11.
It sucks.
Never forget.
I know. It sucks. I was hoping. I went in with an open mind, man. I'm completely shocked that you
And
enjoyed it as much as you did.
They had a meta moment too, though, when he was freaking out on younger Barry in the Batcave, and he said to him, "You know, you just crack jokes all the time, and you won't shut up, and it's so annoying." And he's like,
yeah.
and then he's like, "Oh wow, that is annoying." And I
Yeah.
felt like that was meta
That's how
commentary.
everybody else felt.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was
Yep.
hoping. I was hoping one of these portrayals wasn't going to be annoying. Unfortunately, they were both annoying.
I don't think the older one was annoying. I didn't
Yeah.
find him annoying.
No, he sucks.
I truly didn't. I would argue that he was fine. He had some awkward moments. He is not. He's definitely not based on any comic book version. But again, Zack Snyder's only read 2 comic books, and they were both written by Frank Miller.
Like
So
I
he-
said, glad they're laying this one to rest. DCEU, rest in peace, or power, or whatever you want to rest in. Fucking good luck. Good to see you go.
I recommend this movie. I enjoyed it so much more than Spider-Verse. It was there wasn't any. For instance, it had the opposite. Instead of constantly berating children, they actually had parents, connecting with their children, which I found much more enjoyable to watch as opposed to the constant berating of a kid who's a good kid just trying to do the right thing. So none of that. Also, just the simple change of saying that, and I can't remember the actual words they used, but basically saying that the events were like that there was nothing they could do about them. They were inevitable events or whatever. Just by saying that instead of saying they're canon, like they live in comic books, that simple change makes a huge difference to me. Because calling it canon literally implies that you live in a fictional universe, and I fucking hate that. That's stupid.
Yeah,
they
took the Time Lord, the Doctor Who theory, where there's some points in time that you can't change. They're fixed in time,
right?
And you can't, no matter what you do, it's gonna happen. Whatever,
right?
So you don't like it in Spider-Man because they call him canon, but in this one they say
that was
inevitable.
My issue is it's not the actual events; it's literally the fact that they do that stupid meta Ryan Reynolds thing where basically they're like, well, we're all just in a comic book world, and I fucking hate that. Like, don't do that. Don't diminish the characters. Let this be a real world to them. Don't call them canon events like they're just comic book characters.
What's the difference between canon and inevitable? I mean, it means the same thing.
Because one is a reference to something that happens in fictional stories, and one of them would be a reference to something that happens in reality.
Well, canon. So canon
it doesn't have to be fictional.
That's all canon means.
Canon, but again, and it's a reference to a fictional reality. You don't have canon events in reality.
No, you do. The Bible's canon. They call that canon.
No, it's not canon, though. It's not. It's made up. Like, that's absurd. Like, you wouldn't call the assassination of JFK canon. Like, that's stupid. Canon to what? Canon has to be beholden to an overall storyline.
That's all it took.
It's a stupid word to use when you're talking about your actual reality. To be like, oh.
I will say this. Secret Invasion comes out tomorrow with Samuel L. Jackson. Even though it takes place with aliens, it's nice to have something that's not like in a fucking time loop. You know what I mean?
Or a multiverse, hopefully.
Yeah. It's like all these movies. Quantumania, Spider-Verse.
There'll be,
and now this one, the
Doctor
Flash.
Strange.
There'll be another ludicrous explanation of quantum mechanics somewhere.
Because they don't go all, it's the Loki story is much better when they do it. You know what I mean? But no.
Hey,
Logan really hates the whole multiverse thing, and I really hated it first too. I'm kind of getting over it now, as long as they don't do certain things, which they might inevitably do. But I think it's just a trend right now, and it's just a hot trend, and eventually it'll die. It's just everybody's doing a multiverse.
Speaking of multiverse, go back. We got to see Nick Cage, Christopher Reeve.
All CGI from what I can tell.
Yeah, and not even
what
that
about
great.
Christopher Reeve? I forgot, or the Nicolas Cage. That I was looking at the back, and I was like, what Superman is blonde? And I was like, dude, it was only like 3 seconds, but I was like, what Superman is that? I was like, I don't remember a blonde one. And then he turned around as fucking Nick Cage. I was like, what? And the spider should have gave it away, but it didn't for some reason. Because I was so focused on the blonde hair, I wasn't even thinking, oh, Spider, dum-dum. He was going to fight the spider in that movie. And, God, that was great. I loved it.
I didn't know it. Rob had to tell me. Like, I guess that was a Kevin Smith interview with Tim Burton or something like that.
There's a whole documentary about the Superman movie that didn't get made
with Nick
They
Cage.
had a whole costume fitting with Nick Cage, and it was that costume. Like, they had footage of that in the documentary.
Oh, nice.
And the other thing is there was this one producer.
Yes.
There's one producer who's just like, I want him to fight a giant spider. You got to get a giant, like that was like he was like Kathleen Kennedy, except instead of being like, I want you to shit all over Star Wars. Instead he was like, I really want you to put a spider in this. Like that was his whole focus.
Animate. Like it had to have a spider.
Yeah. So when they show that, and that's funny because I said to Steve yesterday, I was talking to Steve, I was like, dude, I think it'd be cool if we got to see Nick Cage Superman. Like I literally was.
Oh, did you really? Oh my God. That's
so when I saw the costume, and I remember the costume because it was so shiny and vinyl looking when they did that. And I was like, that's and he had the long hair. I was like, that's fucking Nick Cage.
Did I play it off all right when you were talking to me? Because I was like, oh my God, I hope I didn't say anything and gave it away.
Dude, I thought you weren't even, I didn't even think you heard me because you didn't acknowledge me. And I was like, oh, he's doing an order. So he's not listening.
Oh, okay.
Again.
Okay.
That's what I thought.
Okay, good.
So, I had no idea.
The whole time you were talking, you heard this.
Yes. Oh, yeah. But louder. Much louder.
Chips just crunching left and right.
As loud as he can.
Yeah, I got to see Jay Garrick in those scenes
the
too.
Old Flash.
Yeah, that was cool. But it was member berries. I mean, great.
But I think they did okay with it because again, it was just I thought it was just kind of to show the universes he was affecting, and it was a little bit of member berries, but it was fast. It wasn't the focus of the movie. Really, again, they didn't even have lines. Really, they just showed them.
Yeah, I thought it went on a little long, to be honest. But
I was shocked when George Clooney got out of that car.
I was too because I leaned over to Logan.
Whoa!
I leaned over to Logan and I was like, "It's gonna be Michael Keaton," because I could tell it wasn't Ben Affleck on the phone.
Yeah, you could tell.
But I thought I was like, I think it's I was like, it's gonna be Michael Keaton, and then George Clooney got out. I was like, "You son of a bitch!"
Yeah,
I did not see that coming.
I was like, "Yay, the shittiest of the Batmans, awesome."
He's not shitty. It's not his fault.
Bad.
Yeah, you're blaming the actor. Don't blame the actor.
I can't
blame the writer. Blame the director. Do not blame the actor.
I blame all. I blame everything.
No, because if they asked you to play Batman in that movie, you would have done it too.
Damn right, but I didn't want to see the shittiest portrayal. I'm sorry.
Well, that was the whole point, though, was that everybody acts like it's his fault that movie sucked when it's not. But and then he shows up. It was kind of funny. It was also funny too in that it's clear that they were like, well, we're done with this Zack Snyder verse.
Right.
We'll make George Clooney Batman just to wrap it up with a neat little bow.
I was like, it was like if there was ever a sign that it was ending now, it was George Clooney coming out of that car.
Right.
Yeah.
Dude, I love that whole scene with Batman while Barry's saving the babies at the hospital. Mm-hmm. That whole scene with Batman was awesome. With Ben Affleck Batman. Again, I love the suit, the motorcycle, the gadgets. He was just Batmaning it up.
His suit was badass with the gray.
Yeah. I was too busy like, oh God, fucking 17 babies and a fucking
I loved it.
Dog.
I fucking loved it, dude. I was cracking up. So they hooked me right away by making me laugh. But again, I don't have the investment in the character at all. I've never been a fan of The Flash for whatever reason. So I appreciate your perspective, and I do empathize because there's been so many times where I go to watch something and I'm just like, why this casting choice? Why this casting
I mean,
choice?
I just thought it would be more, it was like Flash and his cast of characters, I was like, just give me a fucking Flash movie, man.
It was very flat. It felt very Flash to me.
Flash.
It really did. Like he had the big moments in the fight scene at the end, and it all hinged on the decisions he was making.
Yeah. I guess maybe I've seen these storylines so many times. Maybe I'm expecting everything.
I think
it's not that.
It's not that. It's not that. The movie wasn't that good. Well, I can't believe Sean likes it this much. This is I am totally shocked, dude. Like that movie.
I thought it was all right.
That movie was garbage.
I didn't think it was as great as you thought it was.
That movie was not that great.
Even
It had
Logan,
it had
Dude,
its
you
moments.
gave it a fucking 7.5, man. Like,
That's a
I'm
lot.
fucking.
dude, I will rewatch that happily. Even Logan, who went in thinking it was going to be the worst piece of shit ever, he said it was mid, but he said he would watch it again.
Okay, so here's the reason why he likes
meant-
it so much. He took both kids to a movie. That alone raises it 3
he's like
points.
my
because
yeah,
his kids went to a movie with them.
that
I
is true.
understand this now.
They had to. It was a Father's Day thing.
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
even so, they both went to a movie with you. That in alone is 3 points higher. And then one of your kids actually liked it, so that raised it another half point.
No.
So
No,
yeah,
I just had a good time. It was the opposite
because
of
you were with your
Spider-Verse.
kids. I'm telling
No,
you.
honestly, it was just
You gotta-
Spider-Verse was bloated. It was too long.
Yeah, that it was.
And it relied a lot on now the effects and the animation in Spider-Verse is like stellar, bar none. And I feel like they relied on that too much, and the story suffered because of it until the end of the movie.
I don't even know
Whereas
who
this-
you are. I
The
don't know who
story
you
felt
are.
like
because it should have been
It was
one movie.
bloated.
They should have condensed
yeah,
it.
they bloated it up to make it into 2 movies. They
Yeah.
pulled a Peter Jackson with The Hobbit, basically.
Yeah.
But
I don't
this
mind
one
bloating when
was-
everything's good.
there was a little bit like they could have probably cut 15 20 minutes out of this. Again, like the roommate stuff, the Iris West stuff really wasn't landing. They don't really have any chemistry. I'm not
Well,
we don't
invested
know
in that
yet.
either.
We don't
They have
know
zero chemistry, dude. They didn't even try to evolve it. So I mean, because it was about the other fucking characters. It wasn't about Iris and Billy, which is what I want to see. I want to see the Flash.
I didn't want to see a romance at all. So I'm glad
I want to
they didn't
see all
focus
of
on
it.
that.
I want to see everything
No
about the
romance.
Flash.
Zero romance. None. Don't. That's another reason
You
I
know
like it.
how
I don't want to see that.
Steve doesn't like action. He likes romance. and
Yeah,
love.
he's just
remember.
that's why Matrix Resurrections is his favorite one, because it's all
It
about
was.
Neo and Trinity.
Don't get me started. It was until they fucked it up. Like they did everything right until the last 20 minutes. And then there's another one. That's another one. Oh, here's your beloved property. Let me shit all over this property.
I still don't think they did that with the Resurrections
Okay.
either.
Well, I mean, I don't know what movies you guys are watching.
You haven't
lately.
even rewatched it yet, dude.
I don't
Come
even
on.
know. I put it in the other day and I had to do something. So I did not get to watch it again, but this one, man, like I don't even know who you are anymore, Sean. Like I honestly,
I get it. I understand now why it's so hot.
I mean, the movies. It's just like Logan.
I thought it was fun.
What
I
Logan
thought it was
said.
fun.
What
That's what I
Logan
And it
said.
moved.
That's what I tell you all the time in movies that I like that you guys don't like.
Dude,
I
what
was like, I
Logan
had a good
said.
time.
Logan said
could have been
it's-
my mood.
it's mid. It's mid. It's
Yeah, I agree with Logan.
It's like if it wasn't for all that action,
It's
I
a
mean,
little better than mid.
if it wasn't, I was yawning the whole time. It
Also,
wasn't-
what
it-
out of 10? What out of 10 do you give it?
me a fucking
Yeah.
2, and that's
Ooh,
being
2 out of 10.
Oh,
that's
no.
the-
Rob, that's
that's-
less than mid. Mid literally means 5. So,
yeah.
it's mid to you. It's well,
no, it's mid to Logan.
okay.
I thought it was better than mid. I thought it was better than mid.
Okay, let's look. It'd be mid if they didn't fucking shit all over one of the greatest characters of all time, the Flash.
Oh, that's
But
not
they
even
did
true.
that in the first movie.
Yeah,
They
They
did
did Batman, sir. They did Batman really well. What are you talking about?
well, they could have revived it, man. I mean, come on, Snyder's not in it anymore. They could have made some kind of tweaks. I don't
I
know.
thought they did a pretty good job. The director and the
It not.
yeah.
If I'm being,
I'm happy this dude is doing the next Batman movie, the Brave and the Bold. That
is he?
director's doing. Yeah,
It's
he's
the
doing
same
the
guy?
Brave and the Bold.
him and his wife
yeah.
they co-directing again.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Come on, Barbie, let's go party. That's what,
dude.
that's what I wanted to hear, right?
Hey, man, but listen,
what I
I feel the
wanted to
same
hear.
way about Guardians movies. James Gunn can never have a quiet or solemn moment without throwing a rocket mantis or something. He does some stupid comedy. So the qualms I have with this also apply to other movies that I really enjoyed, like the Guardians movies, which is stupid lines, forced humor, kind of crowbarred in there here and there. But I thought a lot of the humor was situational and did work. But I thought then at least 25% of it, maybe a bit more, was fucking terrible, was annoying, like annoying Barry did not like him, the roommates.
What?
and
You
some
mean
little
every
lines.
part of Barry? Is that annoying part? Is that what you're talking about?
But no, he stepped it up at the end. He had the character development and he just wanted to save his mom at that point. And he was a lot more serious. He had that development
Yeah.
that you need for the third act.
I mean, maybe if I didn't know anything about the Flash, maybe I would have liked it more.
Dude, I would go see a Supergirl movie with this Supergirl. I thought she was badass.
I got no problem with Supergirl or Batman. No problem whatsoever.
So they did something with the trailers for this, I'm pretty sure, where so young Barry, he's got like this terrible Flash suit that he makes out of old Batman suits.
Oh my
but
god!
in the
I
trailers,
forgot about that. Oh my
in the
god.
trailers, he just has a different Flash suit.
Oh
It doesn't
god.
look like that, if I remember correctly.
They fucking showed him sawing off the ears. I was like,
Yeah.
oh my god.
I love that you hated that. I do.
What are we doing? We got a fucking bat symbol underneath the spray painted Flash symbol. I'm like, what are we doing? What are we doing here? It's fucking
dude, yeah, and again, a lot of the humor too when I mean, some of it was funny with him like learning his powers and he's like phasing in and out of places and naked. It was kind of funny. But the opening scene had me rolling.
That wasn't bad. I mean, that's what happens. You know, he's learning for the first time. He runs so hard he burns his clothes off. That's the ring. I love the ring. I got to see the I got to see the suit come out of the ring. I fucking really enjoyed that.
That was cool. That was
because I like when I'm reading the comics, I'm like, what the fuck is this? This can't happen. But then like they explained it in this movie and everything, and I was like, oh, the ring.
They used a bunch of words I don't know, which is the perfect way to explain something that makes no sense. It's just use words that sound scientific, and I'm like, oh, that's why. That makes sense. That makes perfect sense now.
It's like when it hits the air, that's all you need to know.
It's like when it hits the air and the molecules come together and form a biome, and like just.
But what they still didn't explain is how they get it back in the ring. I still want to know how it goes back into the ring.
It's another.
Put it in a vacuum.
That's another formula. It's a chemical.
That's a toothpaste back in the tube kind of thing, man. Yeah, I don't know.
And I want a couple more pros. I really enjoyed seeing phasing. They showed him phasing, and I got to see him do a little wind tornado. I enjoyed that. I love that.
I thought his suit looked good too. I thought his suit looked way better than his spider suit.
The new suit is much better. I just wish they would have had a movie to go along with that.
They did. They had 3 parts of everything.
No, I mean,
they had Act 1. He's trying to get his dad out of jail. And Act 2, all the stuff to do to save his mom, get his dad out of jail. Act 3, all the repercussions from his actions and the fallout from that. It's a story. It's a story, bro.
Act 1, I get to watch him look stupid as hell going to run. Act 2, Batman. Act 3,
how do you think
Kara. It wasn't good.
So,
I don't know. I cannot believe. I cannot believe you right now.
I can't believe this is coming from the guy who keeps going to see Fast and the Furious.
But I tell you, I like shitty movies sometimes.
But this wasn't shitty. I didn't think it was shitty.
Disclaimer now. Steve has to put sometimes.
I mean, it's garbage. I'm not saying Fast and Furious is awesome. It's well done. It's just it's stupid. You know.
I didn't think it was garbage, man. You were way more brutal than when we came out of the theater.
Well, that's because I started thinking about it, dude. I wasn't.
See, I went the opposite. I started thinking about it, and I think I liked it more than when I came out of the theater.
Now, when we got out, I was like,
but I don't think it's as good as he says it
is. It's just it wasn't good, dude. It wasn't good.
I look forward to watching this again. This is, if I'm remembering all the movies, this is probably my favorite Snyderverse movie. I don't know if there's a better one or not.
And he wasn't involved with this at all. They were just using what the characters
but it's all part of it.
That's probably why you liked it.
Well, yeah, exactly. They were getting away from it.
Did you like Wonder Woman?
I thought Wonder Woman was okay. It was so derivative of Captain America that I just couldn't. Everybody acted like it was so amazing. I was like, this is just Captain America, but in World War I with a woman. They did no work on that.
Why do I not
know? And the third act of that, the final boss in that was fucking bad. The worst fucking.
You talk about villain CGI.
Yeah, and also just his design and how tiny he was. I'm like, dude, what is this? It was so stupid. Yeah, I am not the Wonder Woman fan. Like the ones I always claim to like at all would be Batman v Superman because I love Batman. It's a terrible movie. after that, I don't even know what's after that.
Aquaman's your favorite. What are you talking about?
Why do why do I hate it when they play the Wonder Woman music? But
Right?
I love it when they play the Batman music.
When they play, I think I just don't like the Wonder Woman music is what it is. I think I just hate it. Like, I just don't like it. I just don't. It just doesn't. It's so stupid to me.
But they were doing every time Batman had a scene, they were like da 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 da, and I was like, yeah.
I was like, bring it, fuckers. That's a great score. That's a phenomenal score.
Oh man, yeah. The producers didn't want Danny Elfman doing that either. They really didn't. They wanted somebody else, and so like he was at a meeting. Have you seen this, Sean? So Danny,
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm talking about the making of Batman '89 in that score.
Oh, okay.
So evidently, Tim was trying to convince, and the producers were trying to convince whoever it was at the studio that he could do the score. So and Danny Elfman was new at that time, and he was real nervous and he was hesitant, and he was like, man, I don't know if I can do it. And so he played something for the whatever studio execs, and you could tell like they didn't like it. And he's like, oh boy. And then I think Tim Burton, or maybe the producer, was like, play the score, the Batman that we're used to.
Yeah, the main
hum
theme.
it, Steve. Yeah, hum the theme. And they played that, and that was all it took. They were like, oh wow. And they were like, yeah. They were like, yeah. It's called Batman's March, or it's got a name, but anyway. So yeah, and that was it. They were like, yeah, he can do it.
So when the documentary you were watching, you said you watched it on YouTube. Were there points in it where there were collages where you felt like there should have been music and there wasn't?
Yes, that was the one. Yeah,
so
I was
the reason it's like that.
I thought my sound went out.
So somebody uploaded it to YouTube, but in order not to get a copyright strike,
right?
Because when I watch it on Blu-ray, all that music's there.
Yeah,
but when you watch it on YouTube, it's just
because they're playing too much of the whatever.
Yeah, they're playing too much licensed stuff, and they don't want to get it taken down. So, but yeah, it's the same thing. Shadow of the Bat. There's a few episodes on cool. every Batman movie from 89 to 97 or whatever, the first 4 that came out. It each has like 2 or 3 chapters of Shadow of the Bat, and it's all really good, worth watching up until the Schumacher stuff, of course.
So I was just curious because in '89 you didn't have social media, but I remember the outrage when they announced like Michael Keaton as Batman. So I went down a rabbit hole and I ended up watching that docuseries.
Oh yeah. For what I understand, because I was a kid, so I didn't know anything about that at the time.
I remember it.
Later on, I guess it was just people writing into magazines, writing into newspapers. It was literally that kind of fervor where people were actually fucking mailing their hate mail about Michael Keaton being cast, because there were no, there wasn't Reddit or Usenet or any of that stuff. So they were so angry about this casting choice, which is funny. That is comic book fanboy. That's peak comic book fanboy behavior. They're like, I'm going to fucking send a letter. They need to hear about this.
I wish I would have wrote letters for Ezra Miller.
About that. The executives knew about that, and they were questioning Tim Burton as well.
Right.
One last thing on the Flash. Anytime he's in the Speed Force and there's lightning coming off of him, fucking makes me jizz in my pants every time, man.
It looks sweet, right?
So fucking cool. I really like what they did with the Speed Force and the way especially in the beginning when they had like the camera behind him and like he's running on water and
I thought he looked cool in this one compared to
he did.
And I thought too, like you said, how they ran differently, and Barry was like, well, you can't run as fast as me yet. And I think he's developed a running style. This is just my takeaway, is that he developed a running style to go faster, and that's just what it looks like, and that's why. And I'm guessing they purposely emulated speed skaters to some extent.
Yeah, and then other Barry was like, "Are you sure? Because all I have to do is think about it, and I can run as fast as you, Barry." Like it took me 12 seconds.
Well, he got motivated. He got motivated by rage and fear. He didn't want to lose his. He's just. I get that. You get that adrenaline, man.
I mean, it's kind of how Wally was. Wally fucking he picked up a lot of things really fast.
I don't know much about the Flash.
Wally West, another.
Yeah, no, I know the name, but I don't know like how he's different from Barry Allen. I don't know which one is first. I don't know any of that stuff.
Barry's first.
Garland's first.
All right, so I give it. If I'm going to be honest, it's a 4.
Just say what you
It's a
think.
4. It's a 4
out of 10.
I mean,
4 out of 10.
4, dude. I mean, I texted you right after, dude. I'm like, I was not happy.
I can tell. Like when you
I
sent
didn't
me
think
an
you were
emoji,
this unhappy though.
I
You
mean,
didn't seem
it was just meh. It was meh. I mean, I looked over. I told you I was like, it's all right. You know.
He did
Just-
do that.
dude, I had a great time. I genuinely had a good time watching this, and I never felt bored. I never felt like it. Like I said, there's a little bit of stuff they could have cut here and there, but nothing like Spider-Verse, where they just kept doing the same thing over and over again. I mean, Spider-Verse literally is just like one long chase scene for the most part until the end of the movie. Like, and you know how I feel about chase scenes, but like it's a well animated chase scene, but goddamn, it went on forever. It's like a chase scene and fucking parental scolding is Spider-Verse basically until like the last 10 minutes of the movie.
I have no problem with the parental scolding. I don't know.
I give it a
Ugh.
6.5.
I don't know what. Hey, I didn't even think it was as long as you said. It was like 5 minutes, man. And then they went back to it.
Oh, dude, they kept going back to it.
They
It
went
just-
back
and
to it to
and
show
was
how
Gwen-
important the relationship
Gwen
between him and his mother
that's-
was.
Again, when you're establishing, you don't need to berate somebody with it unless the point of your movie is to berate. If you're doing like a Gaspar Noé movie, if you're making Irreversible or something, then yeah, you want to berate your audience. You don't want to berate your audience for a fucking Spider-Man movie. Like it just doesn't make sense.
In no way was them showing tough love berating the audience. That's
It was
not
constant, unnecessary, and it was not just his parents; it was Gwen Stacy's dad too. And it was just like enough with the yelling at the children. We get it. You don't like your kids. We get it.
It is
You
not.
don't like it. They're total disappointments. We get it. They're the worst people in the fucking world.
I
We
think
get
that
it.
I'm not gonna lie. I think the dad went a little too far when he was about to arrest her. I mean, come on, man. That's a fucking dick move.
Yeah, it was asinine. I couldn't get over it.
Yeah,
But I
mean,
still want to watch it again. I don't understand why everybody acts like it's so. The first one was so much better. I actually had
Oh yeah, for sure.
emotionally invested in what was happening. It's a tighter story. But yeah, just watching kids get yelled at for like 25 minutes. Of
dude,
the movie
it
is
was
not
like
fun.
7 minutes tops, dude. There was
Not
not
enough.
25. No, it was not that
I think
long.
it was 45 minutes.
The movie was definitely too. They dragged.
It was
for
way
sure.
too long. They did.
I agree.
That chase
I mean,
scene
it was
unnecessarily
the
long.
movie was longer than it needed to be, but it was fucking. It was good. It was way.
It wasn't no
it-
Flash though.
It
I'll
wasn't.
tell you that, man. Flash just.
I'm gonna.
Hey, pun
Dude, I'm
intended. Flash ran all over this bad boy.
I'm gonna disconnect my fucking
How about that?
input right now. This is fucking not. I don't. What is
And
it?
you know, I'm a
wait,
Spider-Man fan.
dude. I've got. What is fucking Flickster Rotten Tomatoes say?
Evidently,
I've
I
got-
don't think they liked it.
The Flash. Where's it at?
Flickster. What the is Flickster still a thing? Is that a fucking thing?
It's the only app I can find without having to go to
Is that-
RottenTomatoes.com.
Well, that's where you go. That's where it is.
But I just want to click on the app. I don't want to type it in every fucking time.
Jesus Christ.
And I haven't.
Google will.
Wow.
Google,
I haven't saved it.
Oh, that's not right.
66% from the critics.
that's
Still-
what I said. 6.5.
Still fresh, but it's probably just like all those reviews that Sean reads where they're like, yeah, it was complete garbage, fresh tomato.
Well, they do give weighted reviews, so yeah, it's probably closer to 50%. To be
Hey,
honest,
audience loved it, dude. 85%. So there you go.
That's all that
pretty good.
matters.
There you go.
but yeah, and ultimately, obviously, I don't care about other people's opinions, but that is nice that it's not getting shit on like
Yeah.
Hellboy. Hellboy got like 17% or something. The last one.
Yeah,
Did you say Hellboy was better than this?
Oh, fuck yeah, dude.
Hellboy got roasted
I
alive.
like
by
the
critics.
I like that Hellboy.
I did too.
I really
don't-
did. I
it
think
got
I
eaten
liked it
fucking
better than
live.
the other two.
I did
liked
too.
it better than the Gal Tamora.
I do too. It's a better Hellboy movie.
My buddy
It
at
had its faults as well. A lot of stuff I
Yeah,
would have
I mean,
changed,
it
but it was
wasn't
still better than
perfect.
the other two.
my buddy at work texted me as soon as he got out of the Flash. He said he enjoyed it like you did, Sean. And I was
Yeah.
and I immediately said, No, I did not.
Steve's like, I'm deleting your number. Don't text me anymore.
Don't text me anymore. But no, I mean, a lot of people are liking it. Maybe it is because
I do feel for you.
Yeah.
Because I get what it's like to love a character, have an idea, and then to see him go, it would be perfect for this blonde ladies man, Ezra Miller. That's who I'm thinking. And maybe we'll put him on the spectrum.
Well, that's like when you were like when we were talking about Spider-Man and you're like, you thought the blonde Peter Parker was the real Spider-Man. I was like, well, my Barry Allen is brown haired and he's blonde in the comics. Yeah, I don't know. I don't fucking know. So, but it's not. I mean, I don't care what color his fucking hair is. Like just don't be not what you are in the comics. Don't be the opposite of that.
That was my first issue before I even saw Batman Forever. I was like, why is Batman blonde? No. They didn't even dye his hair. Like back then, like now they'll dye people's hair at least. They'll color people's hair. Back then they're like, yeah, it's just going to be blonde Val Kilmer. It's going to be Iceman. Iceman's Bruce Wayne. I'm like, no, he's not. No, he's fucking not.
Yeah. You can see why I have a problem with me saying, I want blonde hair and blue eyes, goddammit. that can get you in trouble in today's world.
Yeah, I was stunned. I honestly went in thinking I thought I was gonna give it a 5 out of 10. I from the trailer I was like, it looks okay. It just looked okay. It exceeded my expectations. I had a great time. And I think part of the reason I had a great time was because I had low expectations. So when those expectations are met and then exceeded, it's like, oh wow, this is good shit.
But I didn't
because his kids were with him.
I swear that makes me happy, but it doesn't impact. Like I can separate that from a review score.
Hey, I went into it happy, and your mood was good. And therefore, the movie was better than I think it really was.
I was stoked for Spider-Verse. Right. And I had Logan with me. I had my friend Mark with me.
But not both kids. When's the last time you had both kids at the theater?
But my point is,
Rob, I'm buying them all tickets. I'm buying all 3 of them tickets to Fast 10.
All right, it doesn't matter who he's with.
No, I mean, if you want to test the theory, that's the perfect way there.
You got to it's got to be at least halfway decent.
John's gonna come on next week. He's really like, I fucking loved it. I don't know what it was. Mason never likes movies.
No, that did make. I was stunned because at one point, early on, Mason leaned over to me and was like, "This is terrible." And it was early on, and I don't know if he was talking about one particular scene, but I was like,
the babies.
That bummed me out.
It might have been the babies.
He was laughing at the babies.
Okay,
we kind of both have that dark sense of humor, so. Him putting a baby in a microwave, I thought was, and I think me and Mason were the only ones laughing in the theater.
I'm just like, really, babies? Like they had to go that far? They couldn't have just have the normal. It couldn't have been like an RN that fell out the window,
That's too boring.
Yeah,
I loved how they explained how he can only move him so much because, and then they showed like when he got moved too fast and he just vomited out like 2 days worth of food. Like, I love that. Just like that whole explanation of why he did it the way he did.
But that's stupid, dude. No, there was one funny part. There was like one part I really laughed. And it was after that scene when he has all the babies on the table and he does like the Vanna White, like,
he's like, ta-da!
He's like, look what I did.
Right.
That was funny. That was
funny. Yeah, she just screams the whole time. Dude, I genuinely, I can't say enough nice things about this movie, man.
Okay, I think you said enough. You can stop now. I don't want this out in the ether. I don't even want people to listen to this episode.
So I think the Sean that we're listening to is from a different multiverse.
Right? Did you get spaghetti noodled? I don't even know. I don't even know who you are.
Yeah, look. His Batman isn't blue, and it's
I've always said I just like what I like, and one of the key things for me, if you can make me laugh, that scores you a lot of points. And that opening scene was so funny.
I thought I had you pegged on humor. Apparently, you have a much less critical humor.
I don't think I have a critical sense of humor at all. I just laugh at what's funny. I just laugh at what I find funny. And I found, like I said, that opening scene just won me over because that was some darkly comedic shit. These poorly, because again, the CG in this movie was not good.
No, it was not.
I feel like something happened where I feel like they finished this up a year or two ago or something. I don't remember the timeline, but I feel like at some point in post production, they're probably supposed to do one or two more passes on the CG, and they were just like, "Oh, there's no more budget. The Snyderverse is dead. Good enough." And they're just like, "Oh shit, we're looking at like Xbox 360 graphics here, but okay." Their CG was left a lot to be, but like I said, I could overlook it because I was just happy. It was fun, and I was invested. I actually cared about his relationship with his parents, which normally I don't, just because I don't relate to that personally. But I guess I saw it through his eyes as a kid, looking up to his mom for the last time. Really, really touched me, man. Touching stuff.
It was.
I love your face right now.
I mean,
like you're so dismissive and condescending right now. You're just like
that is. I mean, that is the storyline. You know, he has to let his mother go. Mm-hmm. That is right. That's part of the storyline.
It's.
I wish it would have been conveyed well on the screen.
So we got a split decision on this here movie. So yeah, depending on who you typically side with when it comes to taste, will determine if you will like this movie, I guess.
They all agree with me. It was in the middle.
it was in the middle.
Slightly above middle.
Well, apparently, according to Rotten Tomatoes,
it wasn't as bad as Steve said, and it wasn't as good as you said.
More people are going to side with Sean, according to Rotten Tomatoes.
So Rob is Goldilocks in this scenario.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I had a good time. I'm pleasantly surprised because again, I don't give a fuck about the Flash. And
I'm so happy to see the DCEU gone.
Okay,
adios.
Did you get a Blue Beetle trailer?
Yeah, I've seen that a few times.
Man,
yeah.
what do you think? I think that's going to be
I'm stoked. I love that kid.
Yeah.
From Cobra Kai, he's great. I think it looks really good. I'm stoked for Blue Beetle.
I am too.
Steve?
Oh yeah. I can't wait, man.
Yeah.
Dude, when he runs that giant sword across the concrete, I'm like, oh, give me more of that.
Yeah, and the suit looks great. Suit is straight out of the fucking comic.
Yeah, man, that looks great.
The casting though too, like I love that kid. I think he's possibly the best part of Cobra Kai. Very sympathetic. He plays characters very sympathetically, and he's got good comic timing. He looks the part. It's really great casting there. Almost as good as casting Ezra Miller in The Flash.
Shut the fuck up, dude. Hey, did you stay for the Arthur Curry scene or not?
Fuck no. Fuck Aquaman. I fucking hate Aquaman. I'm so glad you told me about that. I was not about to stay for that.
Yeah, that was
my kids hate Aquaman too. I don't know where they get it from, but they don't like Aquaman either.
I don't know.
I did like that they made fun of Aquaman. They just called him a superpowered mermaid. And I'm like, yes, keep shitting on Aquaman in canon. I love it. In canon, shitting on Aquaman.
So if this is the last whatever DCEU, what the hell is Aquaman going to be?
Aquaman.
I had no idea.
2. It's coming out in December, right?
Yeah. I guess,
so how does that fit into it?
I don't know.
I was like, I heard this was like the end of the DCU, but I was like, isn't there Aquaman to come out?
Logan was asking me a question. He was asking me that about Blue Beetle, and he's like, so is that James Gunn or not? And I told him, I was like, I think the best answer I could come up with is if the box office is good, then it's part of the James Gunn universe. You know what I mean? Like that's basically what it comes down to is if people like it, it will continue. If they don't like it, then it's gone. It's that simple, in my opinion. I'm stunned that so many people came out to see the first Aquaman, though. Fucking weirdos. God damn. And not only is that a terrible character, that was a god-awful movie on top of it. Like, it made zero sense. It was stupid. There was the humor in it did not land ever. I love the dude. That was a funny scene in this.
I don't even know.
What he calls up Boba Fett, and he's like, hey, I want to talk to Arthur Curry. And he's like, the dog? And he's like, no. He's like, aren't you married to like the Queen of Atlantis? And they pan over and there's just
He's like,
old fat lady knitting or whatever. He's like, no.
No, he said, like, yeah. He said something
like,
sarcastic.
Well, yeah, he said something like, he's like, not that I know of, or something like that. It was very funny though. I thought that was good shit. Plus, again, it's shitting on Aquaman to some extent. Makes me happy because Aquaman is a terrible character. I can't believe they ever gave him a movie. The Flash needs to go back in time and fix that shit. Just eliminate Zack Snyder from the DCEU.
Well, if you know Barry, he'll just fuck it up.
Yeah, we'll end up with George Clooney playing everyone.
It never goes well for poor Barry.
Malkovich.
Right.
Malkovich.
So, all right. Did you guys? I asked you guys to watch the Kraven trailer. Please tell me you watched the Kraven trailer.
Yeah.
I watched it twice, and I don't know, only that comic that we read on the very first episode of this show. It's the only thing I know about Kraven. Is this one like too bloody for you? The trailer?
I have no issue with gore.
Oh,
I just think I have Kraven is up there as one of the dumbest villains of all time in my book, and I know a lot of people disagree with me, and I don't care because they're wrong.
I was just curious why, because it seems like you really don't like this.
The blood pisses me off only because how are you going to let Kraven have blood but not Venom? Venom is a very R-rated character. Kraven is not. Like Kraven's literally a hunter. That's his whole shtick. He's a hunter. They're making this guy a fucking movie. He's a hunter, and that first scene where he jumps through the glass window, I'm like, God damn, this looks so dumb. And he's just chasing people. And I'm just like, what is this? And I'm just like, this is Morbius 2. It's Morbin time. It's Kraven time. Like, it's just...
Go watch the trailer with your kids. It wasn't that bad.
I was like, I was just thinking, I don't even know if I can trust Sean's opinion anymore. Like, I was like, I don't know.
Obviously, he did not watch this trailer with his kids. I didn't think it looked that bad. I thought it was a little weird. He got his powers from the lion or whatever.
That was so dumb.
I don't think it looks great, but I mean,
I'll go
see it.
I like Aaron Taylor, whoever's playing.
I like him too. Kraven does not deserve a movie. Kraven the Hunter doesn't deserve a movie.
I'll go see it.
This is like the Halle Berry Catwoman. Just don't do it. Dude, and Sony has shown us, they've shown us with the Spider-Verse how many different Spider-Men they have access to. Let's see a Scarlet Spider movie. Let's see a Spider-Man 2099 movie. Why the fuck are they doing a Kraven the Hunter movie? Who gives a fuck about Kraven the Hunter with his fucking... Do you know that his vest fires lasers out of the nipples in the fucking comic? Like, this is a dumbass fucking character. This character sucks. I hate this character. Stupid. He's literally a hunter. He hunts. That's his shtick, man. He doesn't look cool. He just hunts things. That's it.
He did not shoot lasers out of the comic we read.
No, he did not, but he does. He's got like a lion's mane, head, whatever, and the eyes. He's got like nipple lasers that shoot out. I'm gonna find this shit.
I hope they go that route.
God damn.
At least that'd be exciting.
I'm just mad about the blood. I'm all excited about blood, but like, to me, in this trailer, like, that's your whole selling point. They're like, look, it's R-rated, it's bloody. And like, oh, that's all you have is the fact that it's bloody?
And you got
Venom sells because it's fucking Venom. Venom looks like this. Venom's fucking cool. Venom doesn't look like a guy who wears furry clothes. All right? That's all this is.
I think,
and he likes to hunt.
I think Russell Crowe is going to sell the movie too.
Oh my God. Like, Sony is such a bunch of... They cannot make a live action Spider-Man movie. Like, from Spider-Man 3 on, they have lost their shit. They don't know what the fuck they're doing.
I was looking for his uniform, that big bushy vest he wears.
And he puts it on.
They put it on in that one scene. Yeah, he's got like a staff.
And you're just like, wow, that looks really dumb. That is a really dated costume. That looks like something from the 60s. That doesn't look like anything cool today. And then you think about, too, how out of date hunting is. Like, people hate hunters nowadays. You know what I mean? Like,
but he's hunting humans. He's like Hard Target. He's like Van Damme in Hard Target.
And why isn't he using, like, why is he just jumping on things and pulling, like, it's so stupid. It's just dumb. There's nothing appealing about this movie to me. I don't get it.
I like how Russell Crowe just left his son to die.
That's the thing. That's actually true. I think that's from the comic.
I know. I'm sure it is. I just was like, I'm not letting my son.
I don't know
lion.
much about Kraven because anytime a Kraven story comes up, I think of that terrible Kraven story that everybody has listed as like one of the top 3 Spider-Man stories. And I'm like, oh, you guys are fucking morons because this is not a good story. This is some dude talking to himself for 6 issues or whatever the fuck. Like some insane moron talking to himself about how he's better than Spider-Man is not a good Spider-Man comic. I don't know what the fuck these people are on. But yeah, he leaves his son to die. Oh, he gets his powers in the comics from like herbs or something from the jungle, and he kind of gets gets powered up a little bit, some kind of like scent and speed and strength and all that durability, kind of like Black Panther or whatever.
So not from the blood of a lion like this movie.
No, he doesn't get blood from a lion into a bullet wound and then heal. And I'm just like, this works for Spider-Man because we just that story's so ingrained in our culture for so many years. But you do it with a character most people aren't familiar with. You're like, this is fucking stupid. Like, it's one thing to get bit by a spider, become a spider. You're like, yeah, that's going to happen. But like, lion's blood doesn't do anything.
It's it's the lion from The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
It looks, it's so stupid to care, but it just looks so stupid.
Aslan.
I don't understand why Sony, like, again, they have access to all these other characters, and they're like, let's do these villain movies. Venom's doing well. Yeah, because it's fucking Venom. It's fucking Venom. It's like the most popular villain created in the last 30 years in comic books, basically. How, of course, is good. But yeah, nobody gives a fuck about Kraven. So stupid.
We'll
so
see.
Bad, so dumb.
We'll see at the box office.
No, I'm right. It's terrible. It's bad. I know it. I saw the trailer. I saw it. It's shit. It's shit. They can't make it not shit. It's a shit. It's like trying to make a good Aquaman movie. Can't do it. Shit character.
Did you see Morbius?
Fuck no. Why the fuck would I do that? It's another shit character. It turned into a shit movie. That just proves everything made by Sony. They're doing the same thing. They don't know what the fuck. Even the Venom movies are barely even I like them simply because I like Venom. Are they good? Fuck no. They have some moments. I just like seeing Venom.
This looks better than Morbius. Morbius was not good.
It looks a hair better than Morbius, but still terrible because it's a stupid character.
This looks way better than Morbius. But like you said, I'm with you. Like, it looks all right. It doesn't look. It's like you said.
I will not see this in the
Who the fuck cares
theater.
about the guy fucking a hunter? Who gives a shit?
Right.
Give me a cool costume.
That's a character. You need Spider-Man in that movie. Like, you put Spider-Man in it. I'm like, oh, now I'm interested. No Spider-Man. I'm like, what? He's just hunting random people. I don't care.
There's going to be a Spider-Man somewhere. He's going to show up somewhere, right?
Yeah, maybe a cameo. Who gives a shit?
Isn't Tom Holland still? Doesn't he have like one cameo left or something like that?
No, he fulfilled his Marvel contract.
It's wrapped up. Okay.
Yeah. Anything he does now is just kind of it's just gravy. But yeah, just so stupid. I just have never. I'll never understand people who are just like, oh, they want to see everything as part of a property. It's like, no, you can be critical of stuff. Like, and you using the weaker Spider-Man villains as main characters.
I do.
I love that. I love that mentality, but also I don't like that it encourages them to keep making shit.
I don't like what I've turned into since we started this podcast. Like,
what have you turned into?
Like you're talking about being critical about shit you like, and I didn't do that before, and now I'm fucking doing it, and I don't like who I'm turning into. It's like next thing I know, I'm going to be
Friday in here.
Yeah, I don't like it. We fucking roll reverse for sure, dude. Like it fucking sucks, dude. Like you put all your time and effort.
Steve went into liking everything at the beginning of the podcast. Now he's like a cranky old man.
just with stuff like I really enjoy. It's like, oh man, just do better. Just do better.
And again, I do empathize.
I totally understand why you don't like the Flash though, because it is a totally different character that you've read.
But it's the same thing. Like I have issues. Like as much as I like the Deadpool movies, I kind of hate Ryan Reynolds because he's about a third as funny as he thinks he is. So again, a lot of his jokes don't land, and it went on rewatch especially. They get especially cringy and dated. But I overlooked that because they got the suit right. They got a lot of stuff right.
You overlook it because the movies were good too.
They were okay.
Yeah,
his portrayal.
they
Don't
were
get me
good.
started on the fact that they took
Pretty
Deadpool
They were
and
good.
went from Deadpool was a dude. He was literally just a mercenary. He killed people for money. He kidnapped Blind Owl, kept her as a captive in his basement. He didn't go out and help high school girls for free because they said the pizza guy was stalking them. It's not fucking Deadpool. Deadpool is not a nice guy. He's not a good dude.
That
He
scene
doesn't sit there and go,
definitely.
"I'm not a hero. Don't call me a hero," when he clearly wants to be called a hero.
Yeah.
It's like this is childish. This is not the character.
That's
So again, that's why I empathize with you because I understand. I agree with you 100%. That is not Barry Allen. It's not even Wally West.
right.
Like it's
Like that pizza scene. That pizza scene had Ryan Reynolds' personality written all over it.
Yeah, it's just Ryan Reynolds. It's not Deadpool.
Mhm.
Deadpool doesn't do that. Deadpool kills everyone in the room.
I agree. So the conclusion that I've come to is I need to stop reading. So let's wrap this motherfucking show up. I'm done.
Well, we haven't discussed our topic this week. Are we doing Dungeons and Dragons?
Wait, yes, of course we are. But before, I watched TMNT Mayhem trailer, the new one.
Oh,
I finally,
okay.
yeah. Oh man, I can't wait to see this. It looks so good.
What?
Did you watch it with the kids?
The new
Or no.
no, that they haven't. I watched it by myself. But
Okay.
the kids are gonna freaking love this, dude. The turtles.
Show them the trailer. Get them hyped, man.
The turtles look great. They're funny. They're teenagers. The villains look great. Oh man, I can't wait. They got freaking the Tribe Called Quest song playing in the background. Is
Can I kick it?
Can I kick it? Yes, you can. I'm like, I got positive goosebumps, man.
Positive goosebumps.
Can't wait to see this show,
dude. How fun does that movie look?
right?
That I am stoked for that.
I love the animation. It's like it's like a little, kind of like a cross between the Spider-Verse and something else, like it's
stylized
right
in a way that's similar to Spider-Verse, but it has a painterly look to it,
exactly,
which I like. It's a different effect. And the best part about it is, other than like April O'Neil, it's just about the fucking turtles. Unlike the last two movies with Michael Bay, who's got to have humans involved in everything. You have this one of the most successful properties in the world, and he's like, "Well, we got to talk about Vern, who works at Channel 6 News. He's got to be a star." No, it's about the fucking turtles. It's about mutants, and the bad guys are mutants. It looks, I'm on board with it. And even though it's clearly an all ages movie, it's made for, they're trying to get the young kids to. That's a Pixar thing. I'm down with that. That's fine. It's a property for everybody. I have the comics if I want the gritty version of them, but I think this could be. I think the turtles could have like a third wind, so to speak. They kind of got a second wind in 2003 with that TV series, and I think this could possibly make them another huge property, potentially with kids and whatnot. I think it looks fun. I hope I'm right. That's probably the movie I'm looking forward to the most this year.
Yeah, easily. The turtles look like they're kids. They're being themselves.
Right.
So I
mean, it still looks like there's gonna be some badass action too. It's not like I'm fucking stoked, dude. I'm fucking stoked for this movie. All right, Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves came out. I think came out earlier this year. There was another Dungeons and Dragons movie like 10, 15 years ago. It was like one of the Wayans brothers was in it. Jeremy Irons. I never saw it. It looked not good. It was pre Lord of the Rings, before they really knew what they were doing with that genre in movies. So this movie surprised me because I enjoyed this movie. So I'm ready for some backlash. But
dude,
basically this is an MCU version. No, actually, it's funny that Logan plays D&D. He has he has 3 friends he plays with. They are actually doing a movie night tonight and watching it right now.
I was going to say, tell me about your history with Dungeons and Dragons, because I never played it because it was the devil growing up. Like,
yeah, obviously.
Yeah. So like, Rob, did you know anything about it? Did anybody play it?
Aiden plays it.
Okay.
But Aiden played it. But he didn't watch the movie. He don't care. It's totally different. But
did you know anybody that played it?
Oh, fuck. I didn't know anybody. I mean, I knew people that played it, but I didn't know people. You know what I mean? I knew it existed. I never wanted to play it. And I've tried to play it, but I don't understand it. So I just... like Magic the Gathering or something. I don't know. Aiden was, when he was younger, he wanted, like, I sat and tried to play it with him, and I didn't know what the hell was going on.
I probably would have wanted
advanced
to play it if it wasn't, the devil, but.
So yeah, I wasn't allowed to play it. I was definitely intrigued by it because every single thing, because I knew it was bullshit because they said Star Wars and He-Man was Satan. So I was like, well, if those aren't Satan, then this probably isn't Satan either. And I had a cousin, my cousin Bobby, rest in peace. He came over when I was a kid one time, and he's like, "You want to play Dungeons and Dragons?" And I was like, "Yeah." And we go in my sister's bedroom, and he proceeds. He's like, I need a notebook. And he proceeds to like draw on, he proceeds to just use notebook paper, his imagination, a pencil, and some dice. And I'm like, this is not at all what I was told. Dungeons and it was just me and him. So he was like the dungeon master. I was the quest, and I don't remember the experience at all. The main thing I remember about it is the fact that it was like, in my mind, it was like, all right, when do we conjure the devil? And right. Instead it was just like, okay, you rolled here, so you have options. You can either have dialogue options or you can have combat options. It's like, what is happening? Like it was so different, and that's it. That's my whole experience with the actual game. I have played video games based on it, so I was familiar with some of the things they said, like Baldur's Gate and Neverwinter. I've played video games that are based on the franchise. I've played Baldur's Gate and I've played Neverwinter Nights, so that I have that kind of thing. But
when do we conjure the spirits?
Right, like where is Satan again? Because you just have a pencil. I'm not sure, and some dice that we found.
I thought it was supposed to be like some advanced Ouija board or something. I'm like,
right, like where is the devil?
I didn't even play the video games. I've never played anything Dungeons and Dragons.
So, but I'm not invested in the property by any means. I was really glad when Logan met a friend who he was into it. His dad was into it, so they were like, his dad's like a really good dungeon master.
I bought
so he gets that experience.
Packs of dice throughout the years for Aiden.
Yeah, that's I think it's great because it's what it really is just a game that fosters your imagination and your storytelling is what it really is.
They make that shit up all the time. It's cool. I mean, it's really interesting.
Right. And it's the foundation.
It's really complicated too. I mean, when they get into it.
It's basically the foundation for role-playing video games. Final Fantasy, Elder Scrolls, Fallout, all that behind the scenes stuff is basically a virtual dice rolling, telling you if you hit somebody or if they dodged. Every RPG is basically based on Dungeons and Dragons. It is the foundation for that stuff.
So the church
very limited.
The church didn't like it because you were thinking for yourself, or what?
Pretty much, dude. Yeah, that's probably makes more sense.
So the church is all about control, and they don't like it when you do things they can't control. Is that they want to control you? They want to control everything. Anything they don't understand. And now they just call it woke. Back then it was satanic. Now it's woke if they don't understand it. It's just different buzzword, same thing. They don't understand it. They don't understand people doing things that they don't want to understand. So it must be bad. That's all they get. They don't get progress.
Yeah. That's it in a nutshell.
But anyway, so this was basically my take on this. Like my one-line elevator pitch, if I were pitching this as a movie, would be Dungeons and Dragons, but MCU. It felt very Marvel, like the dialogue, the delivery, but not in a bad way. I mean, it was, I kind of wished it was a little more serious, a little more Lord of the Rings. I think it would have been better.
I watched it before you said, I watched it when it came out, I don't know, a month ago.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago. I don't know. It seemed like an eternity ago. So I rewatched it Sunday, I think, because I was just like, it's Father's Day. I don't have to do anything. So I was like, I'm going to watch this. I'm going to put this on. And I watched it on my big TV, and I enjoyed it a lot more, I think, the second time. I don't know if it's because I was paying attention, but I do remember, this is what I was going to tell you from last podcast, is I remember the only thing I could remember was the fight scenes. And I was like, these fight scenes are pretty good,
Yeah.
But then I forgot about what was the bird guy's name? Steve?
Jonathan.
Oh yeah.
Jonathan.
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 Yeah. And it was even funnier because I caught a lot more the second time. And it was even funnier. But I did
Chris
like
Pine
the fight
is great.
scenes. I did like the fight scenes.
I thought Chris Pine did a great job carrying it
I like Chris
overall,
Pine, yeah.
and they did bring some emotion to it. I was surprised to find myself emotionally invested to some extent. Something shocking I found out though. Michelle Rodriguez is a terrible fighter, or maybe they just didn't bother giving her any choreography, but every time she went into a fight, she looked like she had never been in a fight before. Like her arms were like up in the air like this. And I'm like, isn't she in the Fast and Furious movies? Does she not do martial arts? Like she looked so bad doing and she's supposed to be like this barbarian character. And she just, it was awful. It stood out like a sore thumb to me. I was like, what is going on with Michelle Rodriguez?
Okay.
Like
stop. Okay. First of all, I thought this was the perfect movie.
What?
Yes,
because Bradley Cooper was.
Are you fucking with me because I love Flash?
No.
Wait. Are you like Molly because Bradley Cooper played a small person?
Not at all. Not at all. I was totally shocked. It was fun. It was action packed. The characters were solid. The villain was great. I mean, it was funny as fuck. I had no idea going into this.
The Hugh Grant hot air balloons and shit.
Oh my gosh, dude! Just when like all that money's spewing out at the end, and then he's in the portal, you can see his face in his mouth. Right. There's so much funny stuff in this movie. And like Rob was saying, great action. I'm like, I was totally taken off guard from this movie.
So evidently,
I just watched the perfect film. The drama was there, dude. that scene like Rob's talking about with Holga and little Bradley Cooper, like that was great, man.
That was a good scene.
It's like Holga is totally destroyed, really regrets, leaving little. I don't even know what his name is. I'm just calling him little Bradley Cooper. But then she plays it off like nothing hurt her, and she leaves. She's like, yeah, he's gonna regret it. But she's destroyed inside. It was totally unexpected. I had no idea what I was going into.
And he left her for a bigger version of her.
when that one guy, he's supposed to be the badass fighter. I forget what his name was.
The Bridgerton guy?
Yeah, I don't know. But
I don't know. I didn't know who he was. Molly told me. Evidently, he's the guy on that Bridgerton show. Like everybody, like all the women, like love. Like that was the fighting guy.
I thought of him as kind of like Drax, the way he like didn't get sarcasm and stuff. He kind of reminded me of that. But he had a great fight scene though.
Oh my god, that fight scene was so good. Totally unnecessary because he knew they'd come back to life. Like why didn't you just run in the first place? But whatever. It was a great fucking.
Because they got to have an action scene.
Exactly, and it was a kick-ass action scene.
I was like,
I love that. I love the fat dragon, dude. And I love, dude, that fighter guy, whatever his name is, they were making fun. He's like, he walks in a straight line, and then he goes. Is
he going over the rock, or is he going around it? He's going over it.
That was great. I can see what you're saying. Very Marvel, man. But like, I got done watching this movie, and I was like, that was a perfect
pleasantly
movie.
Surprised.
It was a perfect movie, and the kids didn't watch it with me. I'm like, I can't wait to watch this with the kids because it was perfect. Even like the second, I thought the Taz Haram. What is the bad guy? Do you know from Dungeon?
I have no idea.
Okay, I forget the main bad guy's name. I thought he was going to be have a bigger role, but he was secondary. I guess we're going to see him, and maybe if they make another movie.
Are you talking about Hugh Grant?
No, the dude in black in the shadows.
That scene was creepy too. Right. When they first introduced him, and he's just like in the corner. Like, what the fuck?
What a great villain. And I was like, this is going to be the villain in the end. But it wasn't. It was the girl. And she was very creepy too. And I was like, they didn't even get to the guy I was worried about. I was like, it was a perfect movie. The ending was great. The ending was choreographed. You knew what was going to happen, but it was still. I mean, it still hit me in the feels.
I was surprised that I cared so much about Holga being dead, and as soon as she did, I was like, "Oh, he's going to use the thing on her."
Yeah,
but it also hit me because like chosen family as a theme obviously is big for me, just because that's you guys are my chosen family. I don't have family really, like so that always hits close to home.
They didn't overuse, but when they. In the scene where his wife they were having flashbacks and she was like you got to let things go or whatever,
Dragonfly,
and I'm like I'm like, please don't rehash this at the end of the movie. You know, like you
Right.
don't have to say it again. And they went back to it, but they just showed the visual. There was no audio. It's like, here's the window's open, you know, let things go. They didn't say the line again. And I was like, oh, perfect. I was like, chef's kiss, perfect.
They gave the audience credit for knowing what the fuck was going on.
I was,
Yeah.
dude, I was completely surprised with this
Dude,
movie.
waking up the dead.
Oh my god!
Oh, that was great. That was
Oh,
great.
I forgot about that.
Waking up the dead guys.
And they had to go through like 17 fucking people.
Right.
The first
Oh.
one, they like pulled up. He lost his leg, and they had to go to the next one because they kept losing the helmet.
And the first one was my favorite though because he kept answering questions that weren't directed towards him. Like,
He was
no,
like, answer it.
yes. He's like,
Yeah,
no,
right.
I'm not talking to you.
Right. Like the first guy was completely wasted. Like
Yeah, and then he just falls back. He's like, no.
but it got me from the beginning. Like I paused it like 15 minutes in, and I have Alexas throughout my house, and I sent an announcement to the house. I was like, does anybody want to watch this with me? Because it's really good. Like I said that right after they pushed Jonathan out the window. I was like, I was laughing my ass off, man. I was like,
that was a great scene because they kept building up Jonathan, and you're like, oh, he's been paid off or something, like he's gonna let him go, and then it just turns out he's just got wings, and they're gonna
like you totally don't think he's coming, and he just shows up. He's like, oh,
Right.
sorry, I'm late. I'm like, oh, you made it. And they're like, we already pardoned you,
but we pardoned you.
And I love how they.
Did you watch the end credit scene with Hugh Grant?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That was cool. They wrapped it up like they began the movie.
Yeah,
I thought that was perfect. Like I said, a goddamn perfect movie, man.
Yeah, it wasn't like wholly like you knew Hugh Grant was going to turn. Like there wasn't a lot of surprises, but it was well done. Again, enjoyable characters, enjoyable dialogue, enjoyable scenarios for the most part. It was a solid flick.
Yeah,
it disappoints me that it bombed because it's not going to get a sequel now.
Oh, it bombed. Oh shit.
Yeah, it did not do well.
I was never disinterested in any point in that movie. Like I was with it the whole.
It was a fun film.
All the characters, the magic kid was great. The portal thing they used, that was very creative. The way they used it. It was
very Guardians of the Galaxy. The misfit chosen family theme, very, very similar, but it's Guardians of the Galaxy are great movies. They're fun movies. So
yeah,
you take that, do a medieval fantasy theme. It's a good time. I mean, I enjoyed the movie.
Sean liked it, and it had sorcery.
Yeah, it had magic battles and.
Yeah, and when you were saying,
I actually liked the way he explained the magic because they're like, use magic, and he's like, listen, it doesn't work that way. And then they're like, oh, well, maybe we should tell him to use magic. He's like, well, actually, yeah, I can use magic to do that.
I thought of you in that. I thought immediately of you when they were doing that. I was like, you can't just use magic whenever we want. It doesn't work like that. And they're like, yeah. Why don't you use magic?
They leave him to pay the bar tab, and they're like, just use magic.
Yeah. I was completely surprised by this movie. I can't believe I laughed so hard at this. I had no idea what to expect. I'm like, what the fuck is Dungeons and Dragons? I don't know.
I must have been half asleep when I watched it the first time because I don't remember a lot of it. All I remember was like, the fight scenes are pretty cool. And then I watched it again Sunday, and I was fucking laughing, man. I was like, maybe it's because I knew what was going on or what. But
I love the
solidly enjoyable flick, man.
I totally forgot, man.
Oh, how do you forget about that dude? Like that guy.
I watched it when I was going to bed because I kept waiting to watch it, and then nobody watched it, and I think I was half asleep when I watched it.
Oh my god, man, he had me rolling in the beginning.
Dude, it was
and they checked his heart, they checked his pulse. He's like, he's still alive. And he's like, and then Chris Pine was like, I told you that would work. And they just leave him. They just start running off.
Now their whole relationship, their camaraderie was good. It was, dude, it's a fun flick, overlooked, and it makes me sad that it was overlooked for whatever reason.
Molly said something at the end. She was like, yeah, I'm so glad they didn't like hook the Helga and him up. It was more about just being a family,
Right.
Yeah. kind of like
that was
what Sean was saying. The
it
Guardians.
wasn't necessary. It wasn't, and they didn't do it.
Yeah.
It was perfect, man. I loved it.
It's on.
I can see myself watching this multiple times.
Yeah, it's a popcorn flick for sure. It's good shit. It's on Paramount Plus if you want to check it out. Or you can many other ways, but if you have Paramount Plus, check it out in there as part of your subscription. Yeah, I had a great movie week, man. The Flash kicked ass. Best DCEU movie out there, according to Steve.
I mean, it's better than...
What is your favorite DCEU movie? And the only other one I could think of, and I don't know if it counts, is Suicide Squad.
I think I like Wonder Woman, the first one. I think that's my favorite.
That was so overrated.
But it was as far like I can watch that one again multiple times.
It was Captain America Redux.
That's probably why I liked it the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That third act of that though is god awful, bro.
It's pretty bad.
Like the third act of Wonder Woman.
Yeah, it does not age.
Shit.
It doesn't get any better. It gets worse.
The other movies, the rest of it's enjoyable. It's kind of like a mashup of like Superman and Captain America retold during World War I era. But then they get to that villain and you're just like, I'm going to win with love. And I'm like...
Dude, you know what's funny is I just watched
so terrible.
I do like
episode of Justice League where they bring Hades out of... Like, this one magician brings Hades out of hell. And he turns into this, like... They reveal his true character in the cartoon. And he's got, like, a tongue and, like, he looks like the devil, like, not the devil, but, like, he's scary looking and... It's like all they had to do was like just copy it from the cartoon.
Well, you're talking about Hades. Better. It's not Hades. Ares was.
Oh, whatever. Same.
No, but Ares in the comic though is still he's a lot more intimidating looking, and he's not 6 feet tall. He's like fucking huge. He's a god.
The only problem I had was Ares with a mustache. That was the only problem I had.
It's hard to pull the stash off, man. Just the stash,
especially when you're the god
Tom
of war.
Selleck. That's it. Is there anybody else? Even Ted Lasso's stash isn't Tom Selleck's stash, man.
Oh, I finished Ted Lasso.
Yeah.
How was that?
It was very cheesy, sentimental.
Yeah.
Wrapped up
Ted
just
Lasso.
like it started.
Yeah, I haven't started to see. I don't know if I'll ever watch that.
I watched Who Framed Roger Rabbit. The only thing I have
I watched that. That's one of my comfort movies, dude. I put that on all the time.
Yeah.
I actually probably watched it in the past month. I fucking love Who Framed Roger. That and like Rocketeer and stuff like that. I'll just throw on.
Did anybody get past like 2 or 3 episodes of Shrinking?
No,
I only did the first one.
God damn it! I'm telling you, it gets so good. You just got to get past the first 2.
How many episodes are out now?
They're all out. There's like 8.
So I can watch the whole thing? Okay.
Yeah, it's like 6 or 8. Dude, freaking Harrison Ford is awesome in that.
I don't think it's bad at all. It's just not my cup of tea. It's not my wheelhouse.
What'd you think of Shrinking? Molly loved it.
You like it better than Ted Lasso?
Oh,
a Molly recommendation is not.
She don't even watch Ted Lasso. What'd you say? What'd you say about Shrinking?
Molly is not helping. I know what she likes.
No, yeah,
you're not helping.
See, that's what Molly said too. She's like, I don't like Jason Segel, and it was good. Yeah, she didn't even. She's like, I hate that guy, but this was a good series.
Yeah,
that's all. That's what. If you can get over Jason Segel, the first couple episodes, it gets much better. I'm telling you.
Jason Segel is my Ezra Miller. I just can't do it.
Oh, really?
I don't. He's he just seems like a rapist. There's something really rapey about that guy. I don't like him.
Right? Molly's like, I didn't know Harrison Ford was funny. Nobody did.
Dude,
what? Harrison Ford's funny all the time. What are you talking about?
Right. Like, have you not seen Indiana Jones?
He's not
seen fucking Star Wars?
He's got a very dry,
funny
witty
all
humor.
The time. Yeah, he's always had dry humor, man.
Dude, this is a totally different Harrison Ford funny, though. I'm telling you, man. If you guys like if you respect Han Solo, you should watch this.
This has nothing to do with Han Solo. I saw the first episode. It's very Ted Lasso, and I don't like Ted Lasso. It's just not for me. It's not bad. I'm not critiquing it. It's just one of those things
that doesn't mesh.
Than
Ted Lasso.
It doesn't mesh with my personality for whatever reason.
Get the kids together and watch Shrinking.
No, I don't.
You'll be fine.
I don't know if it's a kid friendly.
They're adults.
only-
His kids are old, dude.
Oh, his kids. I thought you meant your kids.
No.
Oh,
Oh, they won't. They don't go for that stuff either. They like Logan loves his favorite show is Breaking Bad. He loves The
What?
Sopranos.
nah, nobody's watched it. They won't listen to me.
I watched it. I watched an episode. I gave it a shot. It's not for me.
I
I
told
don't know
you
what stuff.
though, you got to get past. It gets so much better because I didn't know what to think after the first episode, and then I watched the second episode, and I was like, oh, and then I watched the third episode, and then it just kept getting better and better.
I watched a minute. That's as far as I got.
Steve just hasn't watched it yet.
Dude, I'll
That's all.
finish it. I forgot about it.
Dude, I found out Tina Fey and Amy Poehler are coming to town, so we got to go see that because me and Maggie both love Tina Fey. We're not so high on Amy Poehler, but Tina Fey is amazing. So to see her live would be awesome. So that she's coming in like September, like right before I come down there for the big
Comic-Con Expo extravaganza.
Kevin Eastman. All right, let's start wrapping this up. I have a comic for next week. I didn't put a lot of thought into this one, so just I've been in a Venom mood. So we're going to read a story called Venom Dark Origins. It should be on Marvel Unlimited. I haven't checked. If it's not, I'll get it on Unlimited.
If it's not, I'm canceling Marvel.
Go. We've been telling you to do that. We will share our passwords. We don't care. You can share. You can have my Marvel password. I don't care. Cancel it. Save yourself some money. But yeah, it's called Venom Dark Origins. I think it's 5 issues.
Perfect.
That's it. Yeah, it's 5 issues. Venom Dark Origins. Just keep saying it. Hopefully you'll remember it.
I won't. I'll have to
if not,
listen to the
text
last 30 seconds of
me.
the
Text
podcast.
me. Just text us. We'll tell you what it is. Venom Dark Origins.
I know what comic you're going to pick by what shirt you're wearing on the podcast.
I am quite predictable in my hyper focuses. It's not. Yeah, it's probably not hard. It's usually it's going to be Star Wars, Venom, or Batman. Like it's sorry, I don't know what I like. What I like.
And if you take your kid, if both your kids go to a movie, you're gonna love it. We got.
I genuinely
That's
don't
the only
think
piece of information we were missing.
you guys disliked it that much that you think
I didn't dislike. I thought it was okay.
Because that truly did not impacted my experience, but I took Logan to see Deadpool 2. I had advanced tickets. I got an email. They were like, you could go see Deadpool 2 for free a week before it comes out. And like we did with that David Spade movie. You remember that? It was the same thing. And I took Logan. And Logan hated it. He really dislikes. He thinks Ryan Reynolds just pure cringe, though. He hated it, and I think that
one kid.
I think he did color my perception of it because he wasn't laughing at all. Like he didn't find any of it funny. And then I saw it again a week later with Maggie, and she was enjoying. So it can color my experience. But I had 2 kids, one on each side of me, and neither one of them were saying much of anything. And Mason, I heard him giggle a few times, but I could tell Logan was fucking miserable. So I think they balanced any experience or any impact that they could have had. They kind of just canceled each other out because one liked it and one didn't. So I was left in neutral still. I just liked the fucking movie. No excuses, man. It had nothing to do with who was there or who wasn't there. I just liked the movie.
Yeah,
You're allowed,
I genuinely enjoyed it.
We know,
You're
and
allowed.
I'm completely shocked because usually you don't like garbage, but you're all on board for garbage now. all of a sudden.
You always see, it's not garbage. And the reason I say it's not garbage is it has a solid 3-act structure. It's got character development. It's got humor. You just hate it because of Ezra Miller. I genuinely believe that if it was almost anyone else, you would like this movie.
No, it wasn't that good of a movie, dude. It just wasn't that great. I'm sorry.
It was very fun.
It's not.
It was Dungeons and Dragons. It was funny.
That was a perfect movie. See, that was the opposite of The Flash. The Dungeons and Dragons was goddamn near perfect. There's nothing I didn't like about that movie at all. Not one thing.
I know that if they had cast Ezra Miller, you would have a different opinion.
I don't think so. As long as he's spouting out the same lines, I'm good, man. It's like you said, it's fucking Zack Snyder, man. It's not that poor poor kid's fault. Well, I don't want to say poor kid after all the shit he's been doing lately. He's a jackass in real life, and he's a fucking asshole in the movie.
He's not. I don't know. I disagree. I think it was a good time.
Okay, whatever. We all have
yeah.
opinions. Yours is way off on this one.
It's a shame that the Snyderverse finally has a decent flick. Again, Suicide Squad, though. I did forget about that one. Suicide Squad's probably the best. The second Suicide Squad. If that's considered part of Zack Snyder's universe, Suicide Squad is the best. This would be the second best.
Yeah.
So
I forgot about Suicide Squad. If that's part of the DCEU, then that is the best.
Yeah. All right. We'll be back next week with Venom Dark Origins. Let us know what you think of The Flash. If we got 3 different takes on it here, if you agree with any of us.
I want to hang myself right now. What's that?
All right. Thanks for listening.
See ya. Forever.